If you look around a small town, there are certain things that you're bound to see. For instance, there's always a town square. And in it, usually a monument of a native son, a statue, somebody who's gone on to win fame and fortune. A man like General Hoppin' Mad Hooterton, the old Indian fighter.
That's right, that's my name. General Hoppin' Mad Hooterton. Yeah. Yes, sir, I remember only too well, back here in 1870. The Indians tagged me the old Indian fighter. And that's all I ever fought was old Indians. Oh, you pick on them young fellas, they beat the right out of you. Yes, sir, I used to love to attack them while they was laying out there on the blanket sunning themselves. That was fun, you know, run around on their little body. Yes, sir, I remember that's how I come to get this statue. The Indians gave it to me, as a matter of fact. I remember they was doing a little dance around me one day, jumping up and down. There was a medicine man. He throwed some stuff on me. They called me, what was that name? Wanuka-Poo. I think that was it, Wanuka-Poo. And they throwed that stuff on me, and then the Indians, they'd sprinkle a little water on me. And something happened to me. I don't know what it was. But finally one Indian turned up and he said, "Stand there until that cement hardens, paleface."
Great talker, the General. Too bad the Indians weren't better listeners. Now, there's somebody else that I'd like very much for you to meet. A man looked up to and idolized by every boy. And I mean the high school coach, Biff Scruggs.
Oh, hi there. You got me looking in my locker. My name's Coach Biff Scruggs. I was never cut out to be a coach. They pulled me out of home economics class. I was having such a wonderful time, you know, making little goodies and brownies and pies, cookies, things of that nature. And then they made me a coach. I know that when I was down in the locker room, you know, diagramming some plays here on the board, I never wanted to do them plays. I always wanted to, you know, make little birds and bunnies and pussycats. And guys always snickered and booed. And then one day, the big homecoming day game for Weaver Falls, I'll never forget that. I told Orville Sufferton to get out there. He was one of my backs. And I said, "Get out there, Orville, and try that naked reverse." And you know, he was down to his shorts before we could stop him. Terrible, terrible. We got a lot of letters on that. Well, I don't know, it's just one thing after another, and then there was the big, there was a dual track meet between the girls and the boys, the Bertha Quimby School for Girls. And I stood there, and they were kneeling, you know, and getting ready to go, and I went, shot a bird. And they started, and they ran off together, and I have never seen them since. If there's anybody out there in television land would like a good home economics teacher, I make a whale of a plate of fudge.
Great guy, the coach, and a real nut on physical fitness.
Here, think back, boy.
Oh, here, Coach. Oh, I'm sorry, Coach. Well, none of us are as sharp as we used to be. No, I take that back. This next neighbor is just as sharp and just as spry today as she must have been on her wedding day over 50 years ago. Maud Fricker.
Oh, hi, honey. Oh, jeez. Yes, sir. It all started way back a long time ago when me and my brother, Lamar Jean, started the first airplane. Oh, isn't that precious? I'll never forget one day he come up to me and he says, "Maudie?" And I says, "Yes, Lamar." That's all I could say. He said, "I want to fly today." And I says, "Sure you do, Lamar." He had a funny sense of humor. We went out back and went up there toward Willard's Bluff, and he walked up to a groundhog, and it was funny. It was long about the middle of July, and he'd say, Hi, Mr. Groundhog. It's the 1st of February. There's a funny sense of humor. Then he'd walk up to a cow and say, Hi, Mr. Fox. We kept him cutting the grass a lot. Well, this one day he says, I want to fly. I want to fly, Mud. I said, don't repeat yourself. Go ahead, fly. There he stood up there, handsome man. Had shoulders on him, wouldn't quit. Little teeny waist, about 10. He was wrapped in elephant skin until he was 12. So he stood up there and he says, I'm going to fly. And he taped about 175 pigeons to his arms. Then he got a running start, and he was airborne for about 16 seconds. And then some kid from out of nowhere throwed a bag of popcorn in a stone quarry, and he bashed his brains out.
Did you ever notice in a small town how many folks tend to look alike? Now, this next fella... Oh, wait a minute. Oh, Maud, I forgot to ask you about...
Andy, I've told you about this, catching me undressing. I'll get you for this. I ain't a kid.
He will, too.